Everything would begin on the planet Vegeta. King Vegeta with his subordinates were watching all the babies in their breeding capsules, noticing someone very peculiar, which seemed to have a higher power than all the others. But he didn't want to believe it and wanted to measure the power of this baby. But every tracker that tried to measure it broke. After this, King Vegeta understood that someone like that meant a great danger to the planet Vegeta and the race of the Saiyans. So he decided to send him to another planet far away from that place, and he would order him to be sent to the planet Vampa, a planet which was very desolate and full of ferocious creatures, with the intention that Broly would not survive long enough in that place. His father, Beerus, would find out about this, and it would happen just like the original story, where he escaped to look for Broly, putting the coordinates of this desolate planet thanks to the other Saiyan that informed him that Broly's ship had gone to that planet. Meanwhile, in the same way also, Bardock and Gine would send Goku away. Bardock knew about the planet Earth and how safe it was for a Saiyan like Goku, so he would send him to that place. Some time had passed and Beerus would arrive at that planet, but he would also realize that Broly was not there, since he didn't feel his presence and the scouter couldn't locate him. Damn it, where's my son Broly? He should be in this place. Maybe one of those beasts ate him. At the same time, Beerus thought, no, it's not possible. My son couldn't die like that. He would have known how to defend himself. He has an enviable power. The other Saiyan noticed that Beerus was looking at him a little annoyed and would ask him, "What's going on, sir? What are you thinking so much? Why are you looking at me like that?" "You lied to me, didn't you? Damn you. I knew I couldn't trust anyone. Why would you send us to the wrong place, you lying bastard?" "What are you talking about, sir? I swear that ship was going to this planet. I put the coordinates of that ship by orders of King Vegeta. It's impossible for it not to be here." "Shut up! Surely you're not trying to help King Vegeta." "No, sir, seriously, it's not like that. I have nothing to gain by lying to you." Beerus, annoyed, would take out his weapon and kill him. He would try to escape from the planet, but he discovered that the ship was broken and that there was no way to fix it. So he was stranded on that planet alone. The reason why Broly's ship didn't land on that planet was the fault of another person, external to the Saiyans. Daishinkan was traveling through the universes because he intended to observe if all the gods were doing their job properly. But something peculiar stole Daishinkan's attention at that moment. Two ships had passed very close to him and at a great speed, creating a great curiosity in the priest. And with his powers, he would stop the two ships. Because of this sudden break in both ships, the two babies had been shot into space. Daishinkan wanted to check that both could survive a blow like that. In that instant, Daishinkan covered them with a special barrier that would allow them to continue living. Daishinkan wanted to realize if it was worth taking them with him, and if they'd been humans, they wouldn't have survived something like that. This blow to the head caused the same thing in Goku as it had caused in the original line, where he had gone to Earth. Daishinkan noticed that one of them had an incredible power for the age he had, but nevertheless, the other seemed to be very weak. Despite this, the priest decided to take both Saiyans to the planet of Zeno-sama, but tried to pass it off as an accident. So he restored the ship of both Saiyans and put them back in them, so that Zeno-sama thought that they had landed on his planet. So Daishinkan was with Zeno-sama in his palace, informing him about the universes, when both would hear a large bang outside that had caused the palace to shake. So both would come out and Zeno-sama would see that the two ships had landed on his planet, leaving him somewhat intrigued. Where did these ships come from? How did they land in a place so far away as this? Did someone send them here? No, that's not possible. It's impossible to access this place with a tool as simple as that. Great Zeno-sama, do not break your head thinking about it. I, like you, am also surprised. Surely it must have been a failure in the ship. It could have fallen into a wormhole and fell into this place. Remember that wormholes lead to any place in reality. That doesn't explain how two ships fell in this place. If it had only been that chance, only one would have fallen, but instead two fell. This is not a matter of luck. There's something more here. Sir, I see you're doubting a lot. I'll understand if you want me to get rid of them. There's no problem. Zeno-sama would see the babies that were inside of the ships and would also refuse to what Daishinkan said, and chose to keep them. So Daishinkan, with a slight smile, thought, it came out just as I imagined. Daishinkan would take both babies out of the ship, and Zeno-sama would play with them. He thought of some names for the Saiyans, thinking of calling one Kaishinkan. But then he decided for Goku, and the other one he'd been able to say his name so they would call him Broly, like the planet Vegeta. In a very short time, Zeno-sama had become attached to those two children, and they seemed to have a great appreciation for Zeno-sama after a while. Zeno-sama chose to keep them and tell Daishinkan to train them, so he would do it. Both were children, and Daishinkan realized that unlike Goku, who loved to train and fight, Broly was somewhat shy, and didn't like fighting, but he wanted to continue training with Daishinkan, seeing that Goku did it too. As time went by, they began to realize that Broly increased his power much faster than Goku. The power that the boy Broly was reaching was overwhelming for someone with so few years of life, while Goku had been able to almost completely control his Super Saiyan. Impressive. That Saiyan Broly's very unique. He doesn't seem to be someone ordinary in his race. As far as I can tell, he's someone very different. I want to know why this Saiyan is unique and different from the others of his kind. I'll go find out myself on that planet. Daishinkan would go to the planet Vegeta, but he would notice something that left him disconcerted, and that's that the planet where all the Saiyans lived had been totally destroyed. It can't be. This planet was disintegrated. Maybe I should use my power and look into the past of this place to know the history of both Saiyans. At that moment, Daishinkan's eyes would turn white, and in his mind he'd see how things happened, and the history, from beginning to end, of that planet in a couple of seconds, so he could observe the hundreds and hundreds of years of history of the Saiyan race. Realizing thanks to this that Broly was a prodigy being who was born every 1,000 years among them, and that Goku had been sent by his parents to Earth because they supposed the destruction of the planet itself and wanted to save them. Daishinkan had returned to the palace of Zeno-sama, and so he had understood everything about both the Saiyans. He would avoid telling these Saiyans about the destruction of their planet along with their race, because it could be very harmful to them, so he preferred to keep it to himself. He would explain to Goku that if he were to be stronger than Broly, he would have to train much harder than him, and this was something that Goku was very excited about. To be someone stronger than Broly, because he knew of Broly's enormous capacity. Both Saiyans would get along very well, treating each other like brothers as they were growing up together. Several more years of training would have passed, in which Goku had listened to Daishinkan and trained much harder with the priest, while Broly just preferred to do anything else. Goku had already managed to obtain the power of a god, thus mastering the divine key, and thus entering the realm of gods. Zeno-sama told Daishinkan to teach them the basics of divine ki and how to use it, so Goku could access it thanks to him. Zeno-sama was proud to see the power that this Saiyan Goku had, but on the other hand, a little disappointed by the poor performance of Broly in training. Broly, in spite of everything, chose not to train. Daishinkan wanted to look for a reason to make him upset, because he wanted to see how powerful he was. But it was really difficult to make someone like Broly, who lives in a very clean environment, far from danger, angry. However, Daishinkan remembered what happened on the planet Vegeta. It seems that this is the only way to make Broly angry. If it were otherwise, I would have to lie. That goes against my principles. I must tell him the truth. At that moment, Daishinkan would confess to Broly, but he forgot that Goku was also near and would hear everything. Daishinkan had said, "Broly, I must tell you something. It's really important." "What's up, Mr. Daishinkan? Can't you see that I'm watching the planets?" "It's about your race. Some time ago I decided to go and visit that planet, and I realized that it had been destroyed." At that moment, Broly would turn around and his expression had changed to one of complete seriousness. Daishinkan thinking, "I did it. It worked." From Broly's eyes would come out some tears, but from one moment to another, a great scream would be heard all over the palace. Broly would start to increase his power in a huge way. The whole place would start to shake. On Goku's part, this didn't really matter to him, because he didn't remember anything about his planet and his parents, but Broly did. Goku didn't care, but he was glad to see how Broly increased his power more and more, and he was glad. Finally, I can have a worthy fight with my brother Broly. Broly had completely lost control and only thought of attacking, so he would attack Daishinkan, but Goku stepped in and stopped him, which caused Broly to turn his eyes of anger towards his brother Goku. In that instant, Goku would use his God state and try to stop Broly. Even though Broly was angry, Goku was superior to him, and he would grab him by the legs and throw him towards Zeno-sama. But the Guardians quickly interceded and grabbed Broly. Goku would ask them to let him go, but the Guardians did not agree. Zeno-sama, annoyed, told him, "I told you to let him go. That's an order." The Guardian of Zeno-sama, scared, would let him go, making Broly attack Goku again. But Goku was very fast. He dodged all the blows of Broly. "That happens to you for not training, Broly, for being lazy." Broly didn't listen. He continued increasing his power, and little by little, Goku was being overcome by Broly. He would manage to hit Goku with a big blow that made him spit. But how? It's not possible. Broly at that time had surpassed Goku. He would start to drag him on the floor, taking him by the hair. Daishinkan and Zeno-sama would be astonished to see the enormous power of Broly. In spite of training almost never, he had completely surpassed Goku, who had trained his hardest every day. Goku was happy about this, But then everything had gotten out of his hands, and Broly had taken control of the fight completely. Broly wouldn't stop and was hurting Goku a lot, so Daishinkan had to intervene, which would give him an accurate hit on Broly's head, which made him unconscious in an instant. Goku had untransformed because of this, so Daishinkan would heal his wounds. Broly would wake up later, but he was already calmer, and it seemed that he didn't remember anything. Although, better Daishinkan preferred to tell Goku, as well as his story, and where he came from, learning about the death of his parents, but Daishinkan had made a big mistake telling him this.
Daishinkan had told Goku the story of his parents, so Goku would learn that his parents really came from the planet Vegeta, which made him assimilate that they had died along with his planet. Daishinkan would also tell him that his parents had sacrificed themselves to save him, and that the planet had been totally destroyed by a tyrant called Frieza. Before knowing this information, Goku didn't care at all about that planet, because he believed that his origin came from those divine beings with whom he lived all his life. This would make Goku angry too, and he would shout, "Damn! My parents!" He would start to raise his power and scream out of anger and frustration. But before he could continue, in an instant, Daishinkan hit him in the head lightly, causing him to be in a state where he could not take control of himself, and he would fall to the ground on his knees. Daishinkan would say to him, "Now don't you start, Goku. I didn't tell you to do this. Control yourself. I taught you that in spite of everything, you must control and contain your emotions. Sometimes they can make you play a bad trick. In the control is based the strength and the power. If you continued like that, you would only destroy more of the planet, and you wouldn't achieve anything. Well, I guess it is something normal in the Saiyans not to control themselves in situations like that." Zeno-sama would observe this and say, "Now they should only dedicate themselves to training. They still have a lot to learn, and many skills to master that Daishinkan has not yet taught them. They are not ready for a real battle." "Great Zeno-sama, I doubt that this tyrant Frieza is still capable of facing these kids. I think we should let them have fun for a while, getting even with that guy." "Well, I guess you're right, Daishinkan. Maybe it's better now that they explore the evil of the universe. That will de-stress them. It's a good idea." Goku and Broly had previously asked permission to their adoptive parents, Daishinkan and Zeno-sama, if they could pay a little visit to that guy, the tyrant Frieza, but finally they agreed. Broly and Goku would go to Universe 7 alone, thanks to a special magic cube that Daishinkan gave them, which allowed them to travel anywhere in the multiverse. Daishinkan preferred not to accompany them, because it would be something very protective on his part. This would have taught the children to feel the power of the people, so they would quickly locate the key of Frieza. They would stop in an unknown planet, and in these they would see many soldiers destroying the place. Goku would approach one of the soldiers, asking who of them was the tyrant Frieza. The soldiers present at the time would look down, seeing that they were children who asked for him, making them start to laugh. Goku did not understand why those subjects were laughing, and would ask again, "Who of you is Frieza?" The soldiers continued laughing, saying, "Why do you need to talk to Mr. Frieza? What do you want, kid? What do these kids want with the great Frieza? He will surely think it's a joke when I tell him that some kids want to talk to him." "No, kids, I won't call Frieza. Better go continue playing with princesses." Goku would notice that none of them were Frieza, but they knew where he was nonetheless. Goku would grab him by the ear, saying, "Damn it, tell me where that inept Frieza is!" The others would see how Goku would grab him by the ear, as if he was insignificant to him, which made them start to be a little scared, and the smile was fading from his face. The soldier would try to move, but it was impossible. "But how? This kid has too much strength. It seems that he is not just any kid." From behind, another soldier had tried to attack to help his friend, but Broly with one fist would send him flying thousands of miles away. When they saw this, they would say to Frieza, "Big Frieza, some guys are requesting your presence. It seems that they don't come with good intentions. If you don't come, it's possible that..." He would be interrupted by Frieza telling him, "Shut up, I'm here. Who is the brave one who wants to see me?" "I know, sir. It's those kids over there." Goku would look at him, realizing that he was the one they were looking for, since he was imposing himself before all the others. "So you are Frieza. I wanted to see your face." At the same time, Goku would throw the soldier that he had grabbed with his right hand, making him crash against some rocks nearby. Frieza in the same way would laugh at the sight of these kids. "What are you looking for here, kids? Is something wrong?" "Yes, we wanted to see you in person so that you could apologize for what you did. We want you to repent." "Repent of what, kids? I don't repent of anything I do. What am I supposed to repent of?" "Maybe tell me. Doesn't our essence seem familiar? Don't you feel that we emanate a familiar energy?" "Well, now that I see it, you have a resemblance to those apes. It seems that there were more Saiyans alive." "Well, I guess I should be grateful. You made my job much easier. It will be a pleasure to eliminate you. The last Saiyans. I better finish disappearing them before they become a problem for me." "I see. So you don't regret destroying the planet Vegeta?" "Regretting for that? It was the best thing I did. I couldn't stand them anymore. I knew they would bite my hand off at any moment. Besides, it was exciting to see how the planet was shattered together with those insignificant apes. To see how they tried to stop the destruction of their planet. Even in their last moments, they were still stupid and pathetic. Funny, I don't see a drop of repentance in you, Frieza. I was thinking of giving you a chance. My master taught me not to be guided by my impulses. Anyway, the result will be the same. I still didn't know evil until I met you. Every word you say shows that you are someone too cruel. But this time, I will be more cruel than you. I will have fun with you for a while, and then I will kill you. I know that my parents would be proud of me." "But what are you saying, kid? You think you can beat me? How innocent you are." At that moment, Frieza would send all his soldiers to finish with these children. "It would be a humiliation for me to have to get rid of brats like you. Soldiers, take charge." The soldiers at that moment would be left wondering whether to attack or not, since they had previously seen some of the strength of those children. Frieza would say, annoyed, "Idiots! I told you! Kill them!" The soldiers, without any other option, would attack Goku and Broly, but these had not even moved. Goku and Broly were in their base state. The blows of those soldiers did not achieve that Goku and Broly moved even a little. Broly did nothing, since he waited for the orders of his brother Goku, since due to the respect that he has, Broly was always willing to do what his brother asked for. He kept quiet most of the time. Goku would tell Broly, "You take care of them. I'll take care of Frieza." "All right, brother." At that moment, Broly, without transforming, would fight against the soldiers, while Goku would slowly approach Frieza, telling him, "Don't think you will be saved, Frieza. Your destiny is marked by death. You will have the same fate you gave to my parents." Frieza would see Goku approaching, while all his soldiers were fighting with the Saiyan Broly. "Interesting. They are not as weak as I thought. Maybe it is worth a little bit of my effort." Annoyed, Goku would say to him, "Frieza, get down from there!" Frieza would immediately stand in front of the boy, and without a word would grab him by the hair, lifting him up and saying, "Here I am, boy. Now what are you going to do?" Goku would let out a slight smile at that moment, and would kick Frieza in the face, making him drop Goku from the impact. Frieza would be a little surprised. That hit really hurt. I'm really not for playing games, kids. I'll kill you already. Frieza would launch himself to attack Goku, but at that moment, Goku would use the Super Saiyan, so he would dodge Frieza's blow, and he would return it by hitting him in the back. Frieza, you better use all your power at once, or I will end up killing you faster than I think. The tyrant noticed that his hair had changed to a yellow tone. Damn it, it can't be. Maybe he's the Super Saiyan. It's impossible. This can't be happening. What's wrong? You don't look as confident as before. Shut up, you damn kid! At that moment, the Tyrant of Cold would increase all his power, making the whole place tremble. until he reached his last transformation. The remaining soldiers would be stunned to observe this. It can't be. That kid forced him to use all his power. How powerful he has to be! How come those kids are so powerful? Goku would laugh, saying, "Now I see you finally decided to use all your power. Good. Now I can start having fun with you, damn lizard." He would look at Broly, saying, "Stop. Stop killing them. I want them to see how their master is humiliated by a simple child." Frieza was very upset to see Goku's arrogance. He couldn't stand to see this. Frieza would start throwing multiple energy beams, which Goku deflected without any problem, even returning some of them. They would start fighting, and after a while they were both fighting at the same level. The inhabitants of that planet were also surprised, and began to see in Goku a figure of a savior, because if it were not for him, everyone on that planet would have been annihilated or enslaved by the Empire of Frieza. Goku would realize that using that power, he was having a strength similar to Frieza's. And this was not what he wanted. Frieza would surprise him by kneeing him from behind, making Goku fall to the ground. This would make it fill with smoke where the Saiyan fell. That stupid kid thought he could beat me? But how naive. I'll end this right now. At that moment, Frieza would create a big ball of energy, which he would throw at Goku to finish him off. And he would throw it at him, but before it hit, the energy was destroyed, leaving Frieza stunned. But how? After this, the smoke would dissipate, and you could appreciate the Saiyan with his hair in a reddish tone. He had a cold look, and set in a single objective. What the hell? Now his hair is red. He destroyed my power as if it was nothing, Frieza would say, sweating. Goku in an instant would fly towards him, and would hit him with a big blow to his stomach, which made him spit blood. Frieza would try to hit him again, but he would dodge all his blows as if he weren't anyone. Frieza would notice that Goku was already at a much higher level than him, so he tried to distract him to escape, and he would succeed. But Broly, who had now transformed, appeared in front of him while he was escaping. "Where do you think you're going, Frieza?" At that moment, Broly would take him by the tail, and would throw him back to where Goku was, and he would return it to Broly with a blow, and so on consecutively, as if it were a ball. Both were having fun doing this, until they left him on the ground and both began to kick him, making Frieza scream in pain. The remaining soldiers who were on Frieza's side would be thrilled to see this, because they were sick of him enslaving them, except for Zarbon and Dodoria, who just then would attack the Saiyans to protect Frieza from the beating they were giving him. But Broly would kill them with a single attack. Both would continue humiliating Frieza, until Goku would again ask Frieza, "Now tell me, are you sorry for what you did? I'll accept your apology and leave you alone. I think it's better for you to live with this humiliation." "Shut up, you damned ape! I don't regret anything." Frieza at that moment would try to take them along with the planet, but Broly, without another word, would disintegrate it with an attack. "Kakarot, he almost took us with him. You must pay more attention." Broly and Goku had just finished with the life of Emperor Frieza. The remaining inhabitants of the planet knelt before these children, and would thank them very much for this. Despite being children, they wanted to name them the kings of the planet, since they freed them from the hell that Emperor Frieza had started. But Goku and Broly did not care about this proposal. Goku would only ask them for some food, because he was very hungry, and they would give him something to eat, a table full of food only for both Saiyans. And evidently they would eat all of it, surprising everyone by how much they were able to eat. Goku and Broly after that would thank them for the food, and would tell them that it was very delicious. And then they would leave the place. But in another place, they caught the attention of a god, because in the process they both had released exceptional amounts of power. "Whis, tell me, did you feel this?" "What do you mean, Mr. Beerus?" "I felt two very powerful powers, something that I have never felt before, and I can't perceive that it is a god of destruction. What the hell is that?" "Mr. Beerus, those two guys seem to be mortals." "How? What are you saying, Whis? They are mortals?" "That's right, Mr. Beerus. From what I can see, they seem to be two children, and they just finished with the life of the tyrant Frieza.
Wait, what? 2 children killed Frieza? That's impossible. Where did those guys come from?
It seems that they are Saiyans. They must be survivors of the planet that he condemned to destroy.
I don't understand. That race is very inferior. The probability that one of them has enough power to eliminate Frieza is extremely low. I find it hard to believe that they are really Saiyans.
Why are you surprised, Mr. Beerus? Maybe you didn't have a similar premonition?
That's true, Whis. Now that I remember, I had some visions about 2 subjects, but I'm not sure if those dreams are real. Whis, tell me where those Saiyans are.
Mr. Beerus, they are on an unknown planet called Gremua. It seems that on that planet, Frieza was conquering it with all his soldiers. Well, that's where they were when there was that great increase of power. Now surely they are no longer there.
Well, I don't care. Take me to wherever those guys are. I want to meet them.
All right, Mr. Beerus. At that moment, Whis and Beerus would leave towards where Goku and Broly were. Meanwhile, in another place, Zeno-sama and Daishinkan would have seen the feat that Goku and Broly did. Both were proud of how both had handled the situation, but what they did not know is that a god of destruction had set his sights on them. Since none of the gods of destruction knew that those children were practically children of the King of Everything, Zeno-sama. Since the King of Everything never revealed anything about those children. Only some angels were aware of this, but they were forbidden to tell the gods. But Daishinkan noticed that Beerus was with Whis, wandering through the universe, and he noticed that they were looking for someone. So he used his powers to see who it was, looking into the past through them, so he could hear all the conversations that the god of destruction Beerus and the angel Whis had before. Learning that they were looking for his 2 disciples, Goku and Broly, Daishinkan tried to warn Whis not to take him to those children, but Zeno-sama said to Daishinkan, "Stop. Don't do anything. Let me observe what is going on. Those children are very capable of many things. I need to have fun watching how things happen."
But Zeno-sama, do you know what you are asking me? You want me to take them to an imminent death.
You train them during their whole life, Daishinkan. Don't you trust them? Don't you see them capable? You are a fool. Just do what I tell you, and that's it.
As you say, great Zeno-sama.
Meanwhile, Goku and Broly were traveling through the universe, with the cube that Daishinkan had given them, and at one point they saw a planet that caught their attention. It was the planet Vampa, because the color of the planet was something striking, and Goku had felt the power of a guy in that place. It seemed that the planet was completely desolate. Goku and Broly would enter this planet in search of warriors with which to test their power, but the only thing they would see would be a beast rising in front of them, and this would attack them. But Broly would finish it with a blow. But what a bad welcome they gave us in this place. I don't understand why. That is irrelevant at this moment, Broly. I feel that there are no subjects on this planet. But nevertheless, I feel slightly the power of someone, although I can't locate it. Both would look for him, but they would find nothing but strange animals. It seemed that the planet was completely alone. But in the distance, they could see someone inside a cave who was crawling out, and they would notice him. Broly would look at him and say, "Wait, that guy looks familiar. Maybe that's him. That's my father. My father is alive." At that moment, Broly would be happy. He would recognize who his father was. Both would approach him. Paragus would see 2 children and realize that one of them was his son Broly, causing him to shed a small tear in his eye.
I can't believe it. My son, it's you. I thought you had died, Broly. Where have you been all this time? You don't know how bad I've had it without knowing what had happened to you.
It's a long story, Father. Besides, I don't know if I should tell you for your own good, but I'm very excited to see you, Father.
Broly, it has made me too happy to see you. I have recovered my emotional stability. Tell me that you won't separate from me again.
Broly would hug him at that moment, a hug between father and son. Goku didn't understand that feeling, because he really didn't even know who his father was. But he was surprised because he had never seen Broly in such an expressive way. Since he was always calm and serious, it was one of the few times that he had noticed happiness in Broly. Broly would ask his father if he lived alone on that planet, and he confirmed that he did. But Paragus still didn't understand how they arrived to that planet. Broly would explain that they were raised by divine beings, and that they arrived to that planet thanks to a magic cube, leaving Paragus perplexed when he saw that magic cube. He didn't understand how something like that had the power to travel in the universe. Broly would laugh and tell him, "Father, don't worry. I don't know how that thing works." Paragus would ask him if he could take him to Frieza because he needed to talk to him. Broly would look him in the eyes and seriously tell him, "Didn't you know that he destroyed the planet Vegeta?"
Wait, what? As you said, the planet Vegeta was destroyed. How? It's impossible. But if we served for him, it's impossible that he betrayed us like that. Damned Frieza. I swear I will take revenge for this.
In fact, I exterminated him. You shouldn't worry about that.
But how? You say that you eliminated Frieza. It's a joke, right?
No, Father. It's serious. I killed him with my own hands.
Amazing, son. I'm proud of what you've become.
Father, I want to introduce you to the person who took care of me all this time. I'm sure he'll be happy to meet you. Broly would say this, but suddenly there would be a rumble on the planet, leaving the Saiyans confused, wondering what had happened. Paragus would look at who it was, and he would be scared because he knew who it was.
So, you are those kids.
I didn't really expect that. Goku would think they were other inhabitants on the planet. I see. So the planet wasn't as desolate as I thought. Paragus would yell at Goku.
You idiot! He's not from this planet. He's Beerus, the god of destruction, the most powerful in the universe.
Whis would remember the Saiyan Paragus and would say to Beerus, "Sir Beerus, remember him? He is one of the Saiyans of that planet."
That's right. How not to remember him when he was rude to me. I only had pity on him, and I didn't kill him for that.
Goku would see his companion and would ask him, "Who are you?" Whis would answer him, "Good, my name is Whis. Nice to meet you." They seemed to come with good intentions, so Goku wouldn't feel threatened. The god of destruction Beerus would ask them directly how they had been able to annihilate Frieza. Goku and Broly would just nod their heads, because they couldn't really explain that. But they saw that the cat wasn't just any guy, and they told him if they could face him, exciting the god of destruction, because that's exactly what he was coming for. According to what Paragus said, it seems you are a worthy opponent, Beerus.
Yeah, well, as you say, kids. Go ahead. Attack.
Goku would use the Super Saiyan state, and would attack Beerus, but he realized that with this, he couldn't make him move even an inch. Broly would do the same, but in his legendary state, and he would try to hit the god of destruction, but Beerus dodged it easily and would hit him near the back of the head, which made Broly couldn't even continue fighting, and fell to the ground fainting. Goku would see this and say, "No, Broly! Damn it! It seems that this is not just any guy. He is really powerful." Beerus would get serious and say,
"But what a disappointment. I really expected more from these kids."
Goku would touch his back in annoyance and say, "I'm still missing. Are you forgetting me?"
Kid, don't get in the way. I already realize that I'm just wasting my time here. I'll destroy this planet and leave.
Goku's senses were activated, and he thought, "No, we can't die like that. I made a mistake when I faced that guy. Paragus wasn't lying. He has a terrifying power. I need to use all my power once and for all. I won't beat around the bush anymore." Goku at that moment would use the Super Saiyan Blue God, surprising the god completely.
Maybe he is using the power of the gods. I perceived in him a divine key. How the hell is it that he could access something like that? I can't assimilate that a Saiyan has reached the divine state of the gods. How interesting. I had never seen this in a mortal.
Goku would look him seriously in the eyes and tell him, "I won't allow you to finish us off. I don't care if you are the god of destruction or whatever. I only know that I have to protect my brother, just because of your whim."
Good boy. I like that determination. That's what I was looking for.
Goku would hit a scream and would throw himself towards the god of destruction, appearing above him, trying to hit him with a knee in the head, but Beerus would stop him, although Goku with his other leg would manage to hit him due to the distraction of the god of destruction Beerus, pushing him a few meters away.
Amazing, kid. You are one of the few that have achieved the feat of hitting me that way. But I don't care that you are a kid. I will finish you off.
Goku would say, "We'll see about that, kitty." Goku would continue fighting with the God of Destruction, but evidently, the superiority of the God of Destruction was evident. That power was not enough to face someone like Beerus, so Beerus would take him by the head and smash him to the ground, leaving Goku unable to move and untransformed. Paragus was sweating from fear.
No, it can't be. This can't be happening to me. I had hoped to leave this planet, and now I'm going with him? I don't want to die at this moment.
Goku would try to get up, but he couldn't. Beerus would say,
You still have a long way to go before you can face me, children. But unfortunately, you will have to be eliminated along with this planet.
Goku would say,
Damn it, it can't be. I was just playing.
Beerus would prepare the Haki to exterminate them, and he would be about to throw it and destroy the planet, but he had just fallen asleep at that moment. So Whis would say, Oops, he seems to have fallen asleep. Ha ha ha, I'll have to take him away. And at that moment, Whis would take him away. A long time later, years had passed since Goku and Broly had returned to the planet of Zeno-sama, after almost being destroyed by the God of Destruction Beerus, and they were training. Both had grown enough and had an amazing power. Daishinkan had been able to see their weaknesses and taught them to disappear them, and they had reached an extremely great power. Broly was in front of the God of Destruction, Vermouth, saying to him, I am sorry that you ended up like this, but this is your end, Vermouth. Leave your like to know how Broly arrived to this point, and how everything happened until Broly confronted this God of Destruction.